The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN, 8:30 a.m. Friday morning. A historic morning, you could call it. We're just getting the non-farm payroll number. That number, folks, 20.5 million jobs lost in the month of April. The unemployment rate, 14.7%. These numbers coming in right as we speak. We'll jump over to the markets. We'll start things off with the S&P. You see the pop on that news. Maybe the market thinking it was going to be a little bit worse than it actually is. Unemployment at 14.7%. I had heard 16% thrown around out there. The expectation was basically 20.5 million. Pretty remarkable. They peg it on the dot. The numbers could have been much higher, though. That U.S. payrolls fall 20.5 month-on-month. Record in data back to 1939. You see the reaction, pretty remarkable. S&P is positive by more than 1% on the day that we get that news. You could argue that it's all priced in, folks. It's been heck of a 7 weeks in terms of the weekly jobless claims yesterday, right? That number coming in at about 3 million. The 7-week total, 33 million jobs, weekly jobless claims. We finally get non-farm payrolls for the month of April, and that number exceeding 20 million, pretty much in line with where we were expecting to be this morning. And the market, I think, liking that news as you see the initial reaction popping higher from about just above 2,900 to 2,913. S&P is positive by 33 points. NASDAQ 100 positive by 95, trading at 9202. You have the Dow up 266 points, 24,110. Oil contract up 74 cents. You know, it's remarkable, folks. Watch the oil contract at 2:15 p.m. Eastern time every day. Remarkable moves you're getting in the final 15 minutes. We might pull that up if we have time, and just take a look, though, yourself if you have time at the 2:15 bar. Put your chart on a 15-minute bars. Why not? We'll take a look at it. Want to see Tuesday? Just because. Check this out, folks. There's your action in 2:15, okay, on Tuesday. We got a little bit of volatility, but the bars are so big here, folks, you don't realize that that bar itself goes from a low of 24.11 to 24.77. You check back on crude of where we were on Wednesday, I believe. Yes, there's your 2:15 bar on Wednesday from a low of 23.13 to a high of 24.10, 3 pennies shy of that number. You back that up. Did we have action on Monday as well? Let's see. Monday, 2:15, we traded from a low of 20.05 to a high of 20.63, so 60-cent bars in 15 minutes. And then you back things up to see where we were just yesterday in crude. Talk about a pop to 26.74. Check out just 2:15, though. There's your 2:15 bar, trading from a high of 24.68 to a low of 24.83. They don't look as big as they are because of the dramatic moves constantly, but you're talking about 80 cents right there. And not really directional, just that the action all day, let alone the final 15 minutes of the trading day, which is 2:30 is when the futures contract technically restarts for the day. And that's where you see that acceleration on a daily basis. Today, the most accelerated of them all. Gold contract down $5, some volatility on gold. You back it up to the run it had yesterday in gold. We were down at 1,700, made it to a high of 1,735 at about 5 a.m. And we've backed off about $13 in the price of gold. Silver, heck of a day yesterday and holding on to those gains at $15.77. You were flirting with about $15 early yesterday / last night. You were right around that $15 area at 2:30 a.m. this morning at 15.03 and currently climbing to 15.77. And we got to pull up Bitcoin because it's been, look at that, 10,000 on the dot. They make it easy. 10,000 on the dot for Bitcoin. That's technically down $10. Made it up to 10,220. I was going to mention above 10,000. Quite the run we've had for Bitcoin if you back it up this week to 8,600. Started the week off early Monday, gaining 1,400 points. Dollars, not points, $1,400 in Bitcoin. So with that in mind, we'll jump over and take a look at some of the numbers breaking down to that unemployment rate, 14.7%. Weekly jobless, not weekly, I'm used to weekly jobless claims. Non-farm payroll, 20.5 million jobs were lost in April. Unemployment rate at 14.7. All of this going to be records almost everywhere, folks. Yeah, they had been looking for 21.5 million, okay, and a surge to 16%. There were a lot of numbers thrown out there, folks. To peg this number, historic number, it's never happened before. Both numbers easily smashed post-World War II era records and help reflect the profound damage done through efforts used to combat the virus in terms of shutting down the economy completely. So April's unemployment rate topped the post-war record of 10.8%. but was short of the Great Depression high, estimated at 24.9%. The financial crisis peak was only 10% in October of 2009. Jumping over to other news we have going on. Uber out with their numbers last night. They initially were bouncing around, trading a little bit lower on the news that I believe they lost $2.9 billion. Yes, net loss of $2.9 billion, revenue of $3.54 billion. Uber laid off about 14% of its corporate employees this week, about 3,700 people. They've also been sued in California, talking about how to classify their workers, whether employees or contractors. The numbers there, $1.70 a share for the loss, revenue $3.54, rides, gross bookings $10.87 billion, Uber Eats, dramatic numbers for Uber Eats, which is propping up that stock this morning, you could say, along with the fact that their CEO was on there saying that they're seeing things potentially already past the worst of it, rides picking back up in April. You know, I had mentioned that myself. I have one of my best friends, credit card processing. They run a big credit card processing company for hundreds, if not thousands, of small businesses around the country. And they were usually processing about 38 million, 36 million a day. That number shot down to 21 million during the complete shutdown. A week ago today, they were at 37 million. Saturday following that, so 6 days ago, they were at 31 million. Things coming back. I talked to them again. Monday, you're talking about basically, so this past Monday we had 4 days ago was a 20% increase across the numbers that they were doing 1 week prior. It would agree with kind of what you're seeing with some of these companies. So we'll jump over to Uber's chart. Gross bookings in Uber's core business segment, I'll get it out, rides fell 5% from a year ago. So first time they've actually had, you know, rides falling, but in light of everything going on. However, on the company's earnings call, their CEO said that the rides business was down around 80% in April from last year, but also gave reason for the optimism, saying that the ride volume had increased in each of the last 3 weeks. And when you get into Uber Eats, the big opportunity we thought Eats was just got bigger, the CEO said, and he hinted at new services to enable retailers to send packages to customers using Uber's platform. And there you see the net income woes. Uber, in the last earnings 90 days ago, they had said that they were going to be cash flow positive by the end of this year. Obviously, this is throwing a little bit of a wrench in things in terms of the world shutting down. But there you see the reaction on Uber. So some volatility right out of the gate. You actually spiked down to a low of $29.50. So you were down almost $1.50. And man, that earnings call began, and it was quite a 45 minutes. From 4:30, you trade from a price point of about $30.23. You trade up almost $4 to $34.20. We backed off a bit. Still Uber trading at $32.65. And that was on the heels of Lyft delivering their earnings. Lyft also up a bit today as well. Stay tuned, folks. Lots of other earnings action we'll get into. We'll take a look at that non-farm payroll number again as well. We'll be right back.
If you're in the CD market and looking for a secure investment, the Tiger First Mortgage Program may work for you. The security for these first mortgages are building lots in the Tax Opportunity Zone in St. Petersburg, Florida. The Tax Act of 2018 set up tax-free zones across the country where you can build and hold for 10 years and pay no tax on the profits, which makes these lots valuable. The investment is anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000. The interest paid is 7% yearly, paid on a monthly basis. According to Bankrate.com, the best rate for a 4-year CD in the country as of February 20th is 3.1%. A $50,000 investment at a normal 4-year CD rate of 3.1% would give you income of $1,550 per year or $6,200 over the 4-year period. That same $50,000 investment in the Tiger First Mortgage Program would give you $3,500 per year or $14,000 over the 4 years. Which would you prefer, $6,200 or $14,000 of interest on your investment? If you would like more information about the Tiger First Mortgage Program, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190. The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my gold report. The gold report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-Shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. Excuse me. S&P is approaching the highs we had overnight. The market continuing to react well to the news we got at 8:30. Putting this on a little bit of a shorter time frame, 5-minute chart. You can see the 8:30 volatility. We're sitting just above 29.04, and we've held on to that gain, 29.15, right back up to where we were at 6:30 in the morning. The overnight high, 29.23 in the S&Ps. NASDAQ checking out where we are. The high, 92.38. NASDAQ holding steady at about 92.04. For some context here for the NASDAQ 100, let me just take this off. Well, here is some context, right? Why not? I've been playing with these Fibonacci's, not playing with them, but having them everywhere. And check out that, folks. You want to talk about, I was going to say, we're positive for the year in the NASDAQ. Remarkable statistic in and of itself in terms of it's only May 8th. We've just went through a shutdown for 7 weeks. Things are probably going to be a little tough, to say the least, for a considerable period of time. And you're sitting at 92.02, 560 points from the all-time high in the NASDAQ 100 of 97.63 back on February 20th. Quite a roller coaster we've had, losing 3,000 plus points to 66.28. But guess what? We've clawed back a remarkable 2,600 points of those. Yes, 2,600 points. Remarkable from that low at 9,200. And you put this back for some context. We'll put it on I see we're already there. I'm going to unzoom it. I wanted to show where we were for the year. Here's your dotted line representing the beginning of the year, folks. You're sitting at, there's the December 31st bar, which closes it out at 87.72. You open January 2nd at 87.76, and we're now almost 5% above that number, floating at 9,200, which would represent, your opening here at 87.76. You're talking about 424 points, give or take, above where we were trading at, 4 to 5% positive for the year in the NASDAQ 100. Remarkable, remarkable stuff. Jumping back to Some other news in terms of within the jobs report itself, a more encompassing measure that includes those not looking for work as well as those holding part-time jobs for economic reasons also hit an all-time high of 22.8%. That reading may be a more accurate picture of the current job situation as millions of workers are being paid to stay at home and thus not willing or able to look for new jobs. In all, the rolls of the unemployed surged to 23.1 million, a jump of 15.9 million over March's numbers. As expected, the worst hit sector was leisure and hospitality, which lost a staggering 7.7 million workers, a total that included a 5.5 million drop in eating and drinking establishments. And that's not going to be a complete V turnaround in those, folks. You're seeing it now. 25% capacity opened up in Florida. You can't hire back all your workers when it's 25%, especially when people aren't even coming back yet. Once you get to 50, when you get to 100, when do you get to 100, right? All of that stuff. We'll see it play out in terms of weekly jobless claims. And already the market will be waiting in terms of June. What happens in May? May be an even tougher month in terms of things accelerating for job losses. All right, I'm going to jump through some of the companies with earnings out there. Roku had numbers last night reporting strong user growth, but sour ad business outlook. To get into what they were talking about, 45 cents a share for their lost revenue of $321 million. The Wall Street was looking for a loss of 45 on revenue of 307. However, it's difficult to compare reported earnings and analyst estimates for the first quarter as this pandemic hits. As more people have been staying inside during the pandemic, Roku gained 2.9 million incremental active accounts in the quarter, reaching 39.8 total, a 37% increase year over year. It also saw streaming hours surge by 1.6 billion, bringing it to a record 13.2 billion hours. Let me tell you something, folks. When you see something like this, and we have huge streaming numbers on TFNN, because when you have a lot of people watching, hundreds, thousands of people throughout the day watching, let alone a company like Roku that's going to be in the hundreds of thousands, maybe potentially tens of thousands, and you're watching for hours on a day, the numbers add up very quickly. But those are staggering numbers, 13.2 billion hours. To jump over to Roku, we're going to have to shorten this up on time frame because this morning we're trading actually lower. So there's some daily context, but we're going to open at about 128, which is right about here to tell you where we are right now, bid ask on that stock, 128. You see where that is? That's kind of the upper end of where we've been bouncing around, right? Putting it on that shorter time frame. There's your reaction on the news from 141, sitting at about 128.40 on Roku right now. I'm just going to jump over because Roku, right? But check out Disney's action even overnight. Check it out yesterday. We had the earnings down to 97. You're going to open almost $10, no, not almost 10, almost $12 higher at 108.76. Disney charging higher by almost a full $3 from 105.57, up overnight, getting a real pop right even at 6 o'clock. Yesterday, quite a day for Disney from about 101, finishing the day at almost 106. So you're going to go in 2 days, really, from 101 to about 109 in Disney on those shares. Other companies out there with action, stocks making, where are we? Did I have it? Uber. There's Uber. Roku. All right, I'll pull it up. Stocks making moves. I had there's so many companies with earnings today, folks. Here we go. Stops making moves because there are so many companies. SeaWorld came out with their numbers. I'm going to jump around because we got to get to the ones that we might be most interested in. Macy's, how about they said it would delay its first quarter earnings report until July 1st due to virus-related business disruptions, which have also delayed preparation of its financial statements. Let me tell you, folks, that's not a good sign, to put it bluntly. All right, things are happening, people are out, but if you're crushing the world and your business is operating and you have great earnings to report, you're not going to allow yourself to have to delay it and tell the market that you're not able to tell them the financial well-being of your business. You had Uber numbers out. Live Nation lost 94 cents a share during its most recent quarter, 2 cents wider than they anticipated. The live event promoter saw concert revenue fall 25%. Not surprising, right? Zillow lost an adjusted 26 cents a share for the quarter, 9 cents smaller than the street projection. The website operator's revenue well above estimates. What is Zillow? ZG, I believe. There you go. Check out that pop from 48 to about 50 on their numbers. We talked about Roku. Dropbox I wanted to get to. 3 cents ahead of estimates with their earnings. Adjusted quarterly profit, 17 cents a share. They were looking for 14. Signed up more customers during the quarter as more companies shifted to remote work. That makes sense, right? DBX, I believe, is their symbol. There's your action, up from under 22 to about 22.75 on their earnings. Bookings out with their numbers. Adjusted $3.77 a share for the first quarter, below the estimate of $5.64. Revenue beating analyst projections. Overall, the parent of Priceline and other travel websites saw adjusted profit fall 69% because of the virus. BKNG booking pretty much in line, $1,443 stock, and we're going to open at $1,441. We're bidding $1,429 by $1,449. Who knows where we'll open up, but right around that market, not too much of a reaction. Yelp losing 22 cents a share for the first quarter, doubling the loss that Wall Street had expected, although the revenue did beat. Yelp dropping from about 23 down to 22 on that news. And how about Disney? So, as I mentioned, right, I mean, that acceleration, this news probably playing into things, of course, but Shanghai, they're only allowed to operate at 30% of capacity, but they're sold out in Shanghai at 30%. So maybe they can go to 40 or 50, right? Stay tuned, folks. We'll be coming back to finish up the program, checking in on the markets for Friday action. We'll be right back.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as our #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get the competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. Markets holding the gains on that initial pop. We were trading at about 29.4 in the S&Ps when we came into the non-farm payrolls. We're sitting at about 29.12 right now. Pretty muted reaction. All things considered, on a number that you could call historic in many ways. S&P is sitting positive by 1.1%. NASDAQ positive by 82 points at 91.90. The Dow at 264. Checking in on the oil contract, 23.93. Quite a day yesterday, up to 26.74. You give it all back by 2:30. We finished 2:30. We opened about 23.65, and we've kind of been bouncing around. We were as high as 25. We're sitting at 23.91 right now at the price of crude. What else you have happening in the market? Clorox I wanted to cover for a brief moment. So Clorox told the Journal it does not expect to catch up to demand for its disinfectant wipes until the summer. Parent company of Lysol brand told the Journal it's not sure when it will be able to fully replenish supplies of its wipes. We've all seen the grocery stores, and it's remarkable you have these types of products, and they just can't catch up, because anytime anybody sees them in the store, I would say, we're making sure we buy them until we feel comfortable with the amount we have, and that number just has not been reached yet. Wanted to jump back to Disney for a moment. So what else going on out there? We talked about Shanghai. They sold 30% of the capacity and sold out on that number, but you also have Disney Springs. So Disney Springs, it's a shopping, dining, and entertainment complex. They're going to open that back up May 20th, 12 days from right now. Now, that is not really an amusement park. It's basically just there's your Disney Springs. They advertise 104 shops, 64 dining options, and 23 attractions, shows, and events. They'll be open back up in 12 days. Be interesting to see what they do in terms of here's what you need to know before you go. They just talk about some very general stuff. You know, guidance from the governments. They're going to be operating at a decreased capacity, social distancing, but 12 days from right now, Disney's going to be opening that up. It's not a small place. Consider it almost a big outdoor mall, that's what I would consider it. But they'll be back in action. We'll see if they will be back in action. But markets, like in the news on non-farm payrolls Friday so far. Stay tuned, folks. Larry Pesavento coming up live at 9. Should be an interesting Friday of trading action. We'll be right back.